Ladies and gentlemen, Tiger here, and the hoodie's on, so you know what that means. This is gonna be one of those videos. Ladies and gentlemen, no edits, no cuts. Um, this is probably going to be the most important video I ever make on my channel. There are three things that I want to talk to you about. Is technically all one thing, but there's three pieces to it. So again, don't want to waste your time, so we're gonna get right into it. So, um, as you know, YouTube, when uploading videos, or I don't know if whatever creator you watch, if you look, there's hashtags, which basically, kind of tells you about the video, kind of helps you find the video and things of that nature. On Twitch, they recently gave you the ability to add your own tags. Like you can literally type them in and things of that nature. You can have up to 10, I think it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we're talking about today. There's tags. Now it's like, oh, what's so big about tags? We're going to talk about it. So there's three particular ones that one of them has already been on my streams for a few weeks now. The other two have not, but they've been around my anyway. Moving on. So let's talk about the first one. As I've mentioned many times in previous videos and within, streams and videos, I am a clean content creator. Now, what that means is essentially there won't be any profanity you hear coming from me or my content. Well, profanity is swearing, but um, you know, that's just not me as a person. It's just not me as a person. Not to say that, people who do it are bad. I'm not saying I didn't do it. I've never done it. I'm not gonna say that. Can't lie to you. I'm not gonna say that. But that's just not who I am as a person today. And I haven't been that for a long time now. So clean content creator basically lets you know that you're not gonna hear anything particularly crazy. You're not going to hear, conversations about body parts and things of that nature, which is pretty rampant today, if I'm being honest. That's just the culture for whatever reason. But I'm a clean content creator. You won't hear any of that here, whether it be in my videos, whether it be in my live streams, whether it be in my discords. All of that stuff is moderated to keep that out of the community that I'm building. Okay. The second one I want to talk to you about is something that we kind of we were built on, if that makes any sense. Now, for those of you who know I started streaming on Mixer. Now, on Mixer, there were different, ratings for the stream, 18 plus and all of that stuff. Ours was teen rated. So that's the second tag that you will begin to see in my videos, in the hashtags and in the stream. That one might see its way out a little bit because of the last one that we're going to talk about, but it's to let you know anything that's not like teen rated will basically be removed from the not basically will be removed from the comment will be removed from the channel, the chat, wherever it may be. Anything that's not team related, drugs, alcohol, all of that stuff, um conversations about a sexual nature and things of that nature, it smoke, all it's just things that are not necessarily and when I say teen rated, I'm talking about preteens up until um 18, because at 18, well, realistically 16, 17, depending on who you are, you're having different conversations anyway. But you understand my point. What I'm talking about is like the preteen age with mixed with the in the middle there, okay? So, 14, 15, 16. Anyway, I'm getting too deep into it. It's not that complicated. You From being a clean content creator to having a teen rated stream also on top of that, you understand where I'm coming from. We're not going to be having certain conversations within there. There are places designated for that. And what I mean by that is we have Q&As. We're gonna start that back up. We used to have what we call Let's Talks. Those are the places, designated places where we have, in a sense, more adult conversations or more mature content. But whenever you just pop in or whatever, 97% of the time, teen rated material, um, and 100% of the time, clean content. Okay. So there may be a comment made or a conversation that we're in the middle of or something like that that's kind of specific to the situation at that moment. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have your answer, but wait 2 weeks for our let's talk. That's not what I'm gonna do. So I'm just letting you know what you can expect. Now, this last one, there's gonna be a lot of dead air. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. This last thing that we're gonna talk about, which is the most important tag that you will see when it comes to my content. There's a reason I saved it for last, not because it's least important. The reason I saved it for last is because this is going to be the first tag you will see at the beginning of all my videos, every stream, all of that stuff. For those of you who have grown to know me over the years, whether it be knowing me IRL or knowing me from from streaming, even offline DMs and things of that nature, you have been able to pick up that there is something different about me. This is something that I've never advertised. This is something that I've always stood by, but again, never advertised it. This is something I very rarely got into many conversations about. But I have reached a point where it is, I don't want to say almost impossible, but it's very difficult to help someone without explaining to them this part of me. I'm building, I'm laying a foundation for you. There are some people, because my channel is all about changing lives. It's about helping people. If your life is not changed from being here within this community, I am not who I say I am. Bold claim, but 100% accurate. If your life is not changed by the type of content I make, I'm not talking about us playing video games in your life. I'm talking about if you're watching us play a video game and we get into a conversation, because the interaction that I take typically comes from the chat. There's going to be some offline recording, so that's going to be a little bit different, but I am a streamer first. So if you want to interact with me, twitch.tv/white tiger with an X in front of it and after it, and then don't forget to put the 7 at the end. So X White Tiger X7, twitch.tv. That's where you can find me. Links in the description. I can't help certain people with situations that they're going through unless I show them 100% of who I am. I'm building it all up for what? It's been a long time coming, truthfully. It's been weighing on me for a very long time. But because of the state of my community right now, I'm gonna be honest, it's not what it once was. And I mean that in a good and a bad way. Meaning, people have gone their separate ways, or, just stop showing up, or just, are not there like they used to be. And like I said, that's good and bad. The bad part is, obviously it's a little bit tougher for me because I'm used to a certain type of community. That was the community I was building, and now, anyway. But is the good part is I get to do this. I get to reset some things. I get to reevaluate some things that were in place before, and I get to have the not to say that I didn't have it before, but this is giving me an opportunity to really, really like critique the different parts of my content, the parts of the community. This gives me the opportunity to build it up the right way, since we're basically back to the foundation of this. If you've been watching the videos, you've seen basically me laying out the foundation. You haven't seen any content yet, really, in terms of like, us playing a game or a let's talk or anything like that. You've just been seeing me talk to you because I'm laying a foundation to let you know what it is that you can expect from this channel, what it is that you can expect when you tune into my live stream on Twitch, what it is that you will see whenever you see my brand. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the last tag that I want to talk to you about, which will be the first tag. And before you turn off this video, give me a chance to explain, okay? The last tag that we will be talking about today, like I said, you see the hoodie? It's important stuff. Is a God first tag. Now, I may have lost a bunch of people, and that's okay. That's okay. Because the world that we live in has really warped that to mean something that it was never intended to. That tag doesn't mean that I've never made mistakes. That tag does by no means means that you're going to be judged here by, your mistakes or by your habits or your lifestyle. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. Say it about 3 more times. That's not what that means. That's not what that means. That is not what that means. What that means is everybody, now hear me on this. Everybody's entitled to their own belief system, correct? Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, correct? So what that means for me is that my belief system will not be preached to you. I'm not here trying to convert you. You won't hear me preaching or having a sermon, even though it'll sound like it. That's not what that means for me. That's not what that means for this channel. That's not what that means for this community. That's not what this means for this content. What that means is, if you stay here and if you want my help, I'm letting you know where I get my help from. The things you guys have seen me go through, I don't even think, I was looking back on our Let's Talks, and I don't even know that I told you guys the full story about what happened to me as to how I got here as the tiger and everything. We briefly talked about it, but I don't think I told you exactly what happened. And I've been thinking about that, about the full story. Anyway, back to the tag. I'm letting you know that if you ask me for advice, if you have made up in your mind that I am the person that you want to talk to about your problems, which is fine. I'm studying psychology to become a counselor, a family counselor. The end goal is a marriage counselor, because there's too many broken families here. There's too many broken families out here, and people don't understand that it starts with the mom and the dad. Okay? So the original blueprint, that's what we're talking about. Anyway, that's what I'm studying outside of stream. So when you hear me talk and it sounds like I'm counseling, is because I am. That's what I've always been doing for years. I never really picked up on it until I really looked at myself and looked at the types of things that I was a basketball coach for like probably over 10 years. Um, um, you know, um, in my most recent job, I had somebody come to me and ask me what they should do about somebody who was my age, and the person who was coming to me was almost twice my age. Okay. They were much old. Well, not much older than me. They were maybe like 10, 15 years older than me, potentially. But I have people older than me coming to me because of what I carry. You will never hear me lie to you. There's a quote that we have going on. This is all in reference to what we're talking about. There's a quote that we have around our community in reference from my relationship to you. I'm not going to promise you that you're going to like what I have to say all the time. I can only promise you that I will never lie to you. Never. People in my community, every single one of them can attest to this. I've had hard conversations. I've had uncomfortable conversations. Hard, uncomfortable. It depends on how you look at it. Those are two different things, or they could be the same thing. But my point is, I've never lied to any of them. Not once. Not once. That is who I am as a person. That is who I am. So, if you made it this far in the video, first of all, that's big. Like don't take that for granted. Like I'm not trying to be funny. I don't necessarily have a live audience. I'm recording this offline. Whoever's watching this and you've made it this far, that means that you and I can't see who I'm talking to. You and I were meant to do something together. If you've made it this far, because I know I lost a lot of people as soon as I mentioned what the tag was. I know I lost a lot of people, and I'm okay with that. I tell my community all the time, I cannot be concerned with the people who come and go. The only thing that I have a responsibility for is the people who stay. So that's what we're doing. We're having a conversation right now. You may hear Max in a second. He's coming up the stairs. I just heard him. For those who don't know who Max is, you'll get to know him. But I want to explain to you, this is who I am. This is where my advice comes from. If you're asking me for help, this is where it's coming from. Because this is where I get my help from. This is how I can stand to you after being through literal hell and still be able to see this. That's not fake. For me to start a YouTube channel, for me to start streaming again, for me to be able to even take another breath. This is the foundation of who I am. And if, I'm saying it on video, to him, but through you, if I have ignored this part of me and it caused me not to be able to help you the way that I could have helped you, please forgive me. I'm asking for your forgiveness. This is to the people who have asked me for advice. This is to the people who have come to me with things that they were going through. So if I was not able to give you the help that you were looking for at the time, I apologize. No more. No more. I realistically don't have anything else to say to you. Like I said, if you made it this far in the video, let me know in the comment section or something. I mean, you are appreciated. You will not be judged. The best person to help somebody with their mistakes is somebody who's made them. I've made my share. And I've come out on the other side. So again, you're not going to hear me preach to you, even though it might sound like it, but it's not. I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking with you. I'm talking to you from my experiences. That's how I'm going to be able to help you. Many people have deemed it I'm an old soul or something like that because my wisdom has gone beyond my years. That's what they said about me. I mean, I've seen it. I've come into situations that I've had zero experience with, and I was able to tell people how to master it. I know I didn't come up with that. So I have to acknowledge where I'm getting my gifts from. This is my gift. Helping people, that's my gift. That's going to flash. There it is. This is my gift to you. Not asking for anything in return. Not asking for donations or tithes, offers. I'm not asking for an offering, anything like that, like you hear in the traditional sense. Not asking for any of that. My reward is seeing you be better. Like I said, if your life is not changed by being around me, then I am not who I say I am. Ladies and gentlemen, that will be the end of this video. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. For those who made it this far, welcome. 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 Welcome to your better life. Welcome. But I appreciate you. This is the first take, by the way. This is the first time I edit this, so if you hear anything, you see the screen go, I'm not editing it out. This is me. And in reference to the title of the video, this is who I am. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you appreciated it. If you didn't, I'm fine with that too. I can only worry about the people who choose to stay. I appreciate every single one of y'all. I will see y'all next time. Until then, y'all know the motto. If you're going to do it right. Peace, y'all. Tiger out.